Welcome to another video from Global Academy Hub, Academic Excellence, Global Impact. And we're asked if it has a maximum or minimum value. And this is a quadratic function. The highest power is 2. And quadratic functions look like the ones that we have here in red and green. They either open up like a U or they open down, like in the case of the green, like an upside U. If it opens downwards, like the green one, right here is the highest point, and that is called a maximum. Doesn't go any higher than that. If it opens upwards, like the red one, which is a U, right here, there's a point where it doesn't go any lower, and that is called a min. So we really have to tell if it's going to open up or open downwards like the green in order to answer part A. So how do we do that? Well, first, we have to make sure our equation is in the form ax plus bx plus c, where a is the leading coefficient. And at that point, we're going to do a simple comparison. We're going to say if a is greater than 0, that means if a is positive, something is going to happen. And if a is less than 0, which means a is negative, something is going to happen. So if a is positive, this thing will open upwards, kind of like that, like the red one. And if it opens upwards, it means it will have a minimum. And if A is negative, it's going to open downwards, kind of like that, like the green one. And if it does, it's going to have a maximum. So now let's take a look at our equation. So we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5. In this equation, A, we can't see it. It's the leading coefficient. It's 1. When it's 1, it's the only number we don't have to write. If it was 2, we would have to write it. If it was negative 1, we would have to write it. So this is 1, which means that A is positive. It's greater than 0, which means this thing opens upwards, kind of like our red one, which means it has a point that is its actual lowest. The answer to our question is that it has a minimum value. The answer to part A is that it has a minimum value. So now we've established that it has a minimum. Now we need to find it. How do we find it? Well, first we find the x value. How do we do that? We use a formula. X is equal to minus b over 2a. So again, our function is x squared minus 4x minus 5. So in this function, a is equal to 1, and b is equal to minus 4, and c is equal to minus 5. Now we won't be using c. Let's apply what we know here, minus b, which is a minus 4, divided by 2 times a, which is 1. And so this is 4 over 2. And so that is 2. So we know our minimum value is going to be 2 something. What's that something? We know the x value, so we have to apply f of 2 into our function. And remember, this is our function right here. So f of 2 means we'll have 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. And that's finding our function, the value function, which is y. And that's going to be 4 minus 8 minus 5, which is 4 minus 13, which is minus 9. And so our value is 2 minus 9. That is our minimum value. So here we are. We're given this function f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5. Does it have a minimum or a maximum value? It has a minimum value. We found that minimum value. That means we're looking at the lowest point that this parabola is going to go. Find the x-intercepts, the zeros, and sketch it. So let's do that first. What we're going to do is we're going to say x squared minus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Why are we doing that? Because when f of x, this function, is equal to 0, that's the point where the line, the parabola, crosses the x-axis. In this case, it's going to be 2 points. Are we going to use factorization to solve this? So we're going to look at something like this and solve. And when we factorize this, we're going to get x minus 5, x plus 1. We equate both of these to zeros. So we say x minus 5 is equal to 0 and solve. So we say x plus 1 is equal to 0 and solve. So we get x is equal to 5 and x is equal to minus 1. I should have a video to help you to understand how to factor problems like this and other problems. So what are we going to do now? We're going to mark our points. So 5, 0. Positive 5 and 0. That's right here. That's 1 point. And negative 1 and 0. Negative 1 and 0 is right here. That's another point. Okay. How do I get on 0? Because this is the x value and this is the y value right here. So these points are 5, 0, and negative 1, 0. And I know how low this thing is going to go because I found the minimum. So it's going to go to 2 minus 9. That's here. And all I have to do from here now is perform my sketch. And of course, you will do a better job than I did. Make sure it reaches the actual point. And that's it.